Hey everybody, my name is Rob Woodbridge from Untethered.tv. What you're about to see here is a short clip of a much longer episode. It can be found on Untethered.tv. So if you really are interested in this, go to Untethered.tv, do a search for this title, and you'll find it there. But enjoy this short clip. Tell me about Ingenious Med.
So Ingenious Med was founded in 1999. We were founded by physicians, and we were for physicians. So as you can tell, the solution that we provided was actually created by the direct end user. So first of all, when physicians or any user actually looks at the system, ergonomically, they're just glued to it simply because the layout is in line with what they do every day. The technology is there, the patterns, the terms, the flows, the technical components are all fluid with what they're doing with their processes within the inpatient, outpatient settings.
So how do you, so what do you guys do for them? There's plenty that you do for them, but for 14 years you've been involved in this. Give us an example of how you infiltrate or how you get into and onto the doctors, get the doctors using you guys.
So what we specialize in is charge capture, which is the professional fee service side of the billing components. Obviously, there's a facility billing component that the hospital worries about, but we're all professional fee, getting the physicians paid. So traditionally, what they're doing is they're capturing these charges, and I'm going to refer to them as charges, on these pieces of paper, note cards, 3x5 cards that potentially end up in their jacket pockets, potentially at their dry cleaners, and 2 weeks of patients being seen and charges captured, just gone. No revenue reconciliation method, no revenue protection methodology, no organization, no accountability to the organization. You can't even, the organization doesn't even know what patients you're seeing at that point in time. So really what we do is we replace that paper, we replace that note card and all the processes around it. So not only do you guys think about the charge capture side of it, but there's a lot of patients that are being handed off from one physician to the other physician when you have shift change. So you got to think about communication methodologies. You also have to think about quality of care of the patient. Since we are at the point of care, since we are driving to be at the bedside, what can we do to whisper in the physician's ear to give them some evidence or give them some clinical decision support based on the criteria of the patient, the age, the disease categories that they may be assigned to, or the payers, knowing that there's certain methodologies that they would like us to take when taking care of those patients. And I think lastly, it's really providing the reporting metrics. You'll be surprised. I talked to some of the biggest health systems in the country, and I asked them, how do you know how you're going to staff a facility, a hospital facility? Well, we just kind of depend and see which one's fighting the most, which one's coming to us the most, being really egregious about we have to order or we have to hire. Where I get blown away because I tell them, you know what, I can actually give you real-time census data. I can trend for you any period of time and show you your spikes throughout the year when you probably need to pick up an additional FTE, and when you're actually dipping because we're out of flu season and you can probably drop a quarter or a half FTE. It's
pretty amazing. It strikes me that what you guys do is that almost immediately. How much on the first thing, which is just simply billing. Is there an estimate about how much these hospitals are losing as a result of that? It seems it would be a lot.
They don't know what they're losing.
So that's even worse.
It is worse. You go in it. And today everybody's trying to sell a system. They're trying to sell you the EMR, which costs millions of dollars, right? They're trying to sell you another little system that's going to help you with order entries. They're going to send you another little system that's going to help you with revenue cycle. But nobody really is going to give you a return on any of those things. Those are just process improvement, their efficiencies, it's communications, it's streamlining the whole hospital at its entirety. So I think in our space where we're actually different is we are telling you you're actually going to get a $30,000 to $40,000 pickup after deploying us. And we'll come back in and we'll do the ROI and we'll show it to you. Statistically, it's proven from all the clients, all the names that we have on our actual client list. It's anywhere from the low 30s all the way to I've even seen 60s. come in for some of these providers.
But that seems like that's astounding to me. You know, I understand there's a frenetic pace that goes on, and the medicine has to land where it is, and the tests have to be where they are. And I mean, I grew up on St. Elsewhere and ER, all of those kind of, like, I've seen this in action, right? Where it's like, damn the costs, save the patient, right? And then, but you don't see them in the television shows, like filling out the forms to fill out the bills to make sure that they've identified the customer and the cost, and actually putting those together.
Exactly.
So, I mean, was that the premise? Was that the premise of Ingenious when it began? Was to just find those costs? Like '99, you guys were at the beginning of this internet revolution as well. So, is that where you guys started, or did you guys migrate into that space?
So actually, that's a great question. We actually started from a coding compliance perspective. You know, one of the things that happens in the industry, and I think it's a phenomenon, just like everybody gets audited for taxes, we actually get audited for making sure that your levels of service match the patient's documentation. For physicians straight out of residency, it's really not that clear. I don't think it's clear to majority of the physicians out there what constitutes a level 1, level 2, level 3 severity of patient. So what we did is, on a Palm Pilot, is created the clinical decision support as to telling you what's going to constitute for what severity. So you need to document X amount of review of systems, HPI items, in order to say that this is a level 2 charge, and to be compliant, we're giving you everything that you need to put into the patient's chart. At the time, when we're talking in '99, EMRs were just getting traction and they were just coming out. So actually having that on your mobile device, sitting down at a desk, writing a patient's progress note, and having those elements to guide you was a need that there wasn't a single vendor that was filling that need. And I think our founders found, number one, it's important to capture the charge, which is the platform we built right with it, the charge capture platform. But if you're going to capture the charge, you've got to do it in a compliant manner. Because in this day and age, Medicare is looking for everybody who's taking money from them fraudulently.
Yes, and rightly so. And rightly so. And my guess is that over the last 14 or 15 years, even since mid-90s, I would say, since really electronic document management came into place, you know, there is a greater and greater and greater certainty that somebody who is doing something fraudulent will get caught as a result of the technology being implemented. This just brings that a little bit closer. And the onus ends up being on the doctors, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they want to protect themselves.
Yes.
So from that standpoint, when the founders made that solution, and they made it mobile, that's really where it fit the best in that world. And today, I think we went through a wave. We went through a wave of, all right, we're actually going to let the mobile devices go because the Palm died.
Yeah.
Windows Mobile somewhat died.
Yes.
And then we went through this phase of BlackBerry's and we tried to revive Windows Mobile at some extent. And then iPhone came out with you know, the first generation phone. And then you started to see a pickup in all mobile usage, you know, then Android came out. And now I don't think we have a physician that doesn't have a smartphone.